Hello friends, are you up for the Statue of Liberty challenge? Quick, cause right now I'm going to ask you 3 simple questions about the Statue of Liberty, which I bet you can't answer. So are you up for it? Let's begin. Number 1, did you know the Statue of Liberty was supposed to be in Egypt? It was also supposed to be dressed as an Arab peasant woman. What? Are you shocked? Well, behold! Number 2, how is the Statue of Liberty related to the Eiffel Tower? And why are they known as half-sisters? Well, I see you are speechless. Okay, let me ask you a basic question. Did you know the Statue of Liberty wasn't always green in color?
What?
So what color was it originally? Come on, guys, the time is running out. Can't answer yet? No problem. Let us together find out the answers and learn even more interesting facts about the Statue of Liberty in today's video titled Mind-Bending Facts About the Statue of Liberty. Number 1, is it really a she? Friends, not to burst your bubble, but the Statue of Liberty may not be a lady, but a man. Say what? Like, wait a minute. When and how did this happen? Well, friends, most of us feel that the Statue of Liberty is a representation of the Roman goddess of freedom, Libertas. But in reality, it's been said that the creator of this magnificent statue, Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi, originally designed the face after his own mother. But here comes a twist, because several years later, an observant writer and journalist, Elizabeth Mitchell, went through several photos of Bartholdi's family, and it's then and there that she discovered a mind-boggling similar picture of the Statue of Liberty's face. And guess what? Whose face was it? It was Bartholdi's own brother, Jean-Charles Bartholdi, because his remarkable facial features had a more striking resemblance to the statue than that of his mother. Because when compared to the face of Liberty, Bartholdi's mother had differently shaped eyebrows, a thinner nose, and a smaller mouth, whereas the brother was an exact replica in his adult years. Sheesh, who would have seen that coming? Well, definitely not the feminists. I'm just kidding. Number 2, wasn't green at all before. Friends, you know what? When this enormous statue was made, it was never painted green. Then how come the Statue of Liberty that we see now is green in color? So going back to when the Statue of Liberty was being made, it was made using copper. And that was the reason why originally the Statue of Liberty was copper in color. So what made it change to green today? Was it magic? Nope, it was science. A natural weathering process called oxidation took place when air and water reacted with the copper plates. And over time, the weathering of the copper created a thin layer of copper carbonate called patina, which is greenish-brownish in color, and it actually protects the copper underneath from further corrosion. And that's why now the statue is permanently green in color. But wait. You won't probably believe this, but there was a time when Lady Liberty was half green and half brown in color. I mean, just imagine how would that look to its onlookers. Number 3, in pieces. Friends, would it be hard for you to imagine the Statue of Liberty in pieces? Wait, what? Where does that come from? Why would I ask you to imagine it in pieces? Maybe because I knew you'd be shocked to know that the Statue of Liberty was actually made in pieces and was literally exported by France in over 300 copper pieces on June 17, 1885. And when the ship Assyri carrying it reached the U.S. harbor, over 2 locked Americans came to greet it. Number 4, Arabic Statue of Liberty? Never in your wildest of wildest dreams would you have imagined the Statue of Liberty dressed as an Arab peasant woman. I mean, what? How? I can't get that picture out of my head, you know? So how did Bartholdi come up with that idea? Well, to all my American friends, it pains me to say that America was never ever considered in Bartholdi's iconic statue idea in the first place, because that first place went to none other than Egypt. Bartholdi, who visited Egypt in 1885, was clearly so enchanted by the Suez Canal project that he wanted to bring his own colossal statue of an Arabic peasant woman with the idea of Egypt brings light to Asia. But you must be wondering that why the hell would a French sculptor want to create such a magnificent statue in Egypt? Well, Bartholdi did have a hidden motive, and that was to beat all other ancient Egypt statues, especially the most iconic statue of the Giza Plateau, the Sphinx. But to his disappointment, the ruler of Egypt didn't agree to this, and he found this project way, way too expensive. So then how did the statue come to America? Well, before we move ahead with the answer, if you are enjoying our video so far, then please do like and subscribe to our channel. Number 5. America welcoming the Statue of Liberty. Well, after the rejection from the ruler of Egypt, Bartholdi didn't lose hope at all. He had a second option in mind, and that was none other than gifting it to America on the anniversary of the American Revolution by giving it a different dress and a new name, Statue of Liberty. So what a new way to celebrate the American Revolution, right? But to your surprise, Americans were actually quite slow in embracing the Statue of Liberty. So now the question arises is how did they embrace it so lovingly later? Number 6. Embracing Lady Liberty. In reality, America only got its statue built because of one man, Joseph Pulitzer. Who is that man? What did he do and how did he do it? All these questions might have to wait just a little bit. So friends, like we all know from our previous point, that the Statue of Liberty was built in pieces and imported to America, but what you all may not know is that all these pieces were actually first exhibited by Bartholdi to raise funds in his own country, because obviously such a mammoth statue comes up with a big price tag. Although this statue was a gift from Bartholdi, before gifting it, he put forth one simple condition in front of the American government, and that was they would build the pedestal for the Statue of Liberty to stand on. But the American government honestly could not, or more accurately, did not want to pay for it. And that's when the American newspaper magnate Joseph Pulitzer came into the picture by actually printing in his newspaper that anyone who contributes even a single penny to the Statue of Liberty's construction would get an honorable shout out in his newspaper. And guess what? This trick worked. Number 7. Statue of Liberty not in NYC. Well friends, can you ever imagine the Statue of Liberty outside New York Harbor? No, right? But you'll be shocked to know that the Statue of Liberty was originally supposed to be placed in Brooklyn's Prospect Park. However, later on, plans were made to shift it to Central Park, but then these location plans were ruled out as well, as placing an enormous 151-foot tall statue in these parks would tower over all the other buildings, and it wouldn't be clearly visible from afar. And that's when the hunting for a new location was on, and New York Harbor came into the picture. Why? You'll get the answer in our next point. Number 8. What? A lighthouse? Well, friends, you will be shocked to know this, but originally, the Statue of Liberty was supposed to serve as a lighthouse for ships sailing into New York Harbor. That's the reason why the statue location was shifted here in the first place. In fact, 2 years after the statue arrived in the US, it started fulfilling the purpose of spreading light and guiding the ships in plight by lighting its infamous torch at night. Wow, what a rhyme. But now comes a time when the torch's light started facing a bad time, because 16 years down the line, the torch's light wasn't bright enough to let it shine. So what solution do you think the creator came up with? Let me tell you that Bartholdi's idea was to reach out to a goldsmith. Okay, I'll stop rhyming, provided you keep watching. What happens next? The creator Bartholdi felt that painting the entire statue with gold would make it look automatically brighter, but that idea was outwardly rejected by the American government, as that would have been an insanely expensive thing. Pulitzer managed to collect the necessary donation amount from 1,200,000 donors, and this is considered to be history's largest fundraising campaign. And one last question that might be popping up in your mind is, why did Joseph step forward to help? Well, when Joseph went on his honeymoon to France, he saw Lady Liberty's head being exhibited to raise funds, and he, at that moment, fell straight in love with Lady Liberty. And that's the reason why he stepped in to help Lady Liberty stand on her feet. Number 9. Love for 7. Friends, did you know Lady Liberty has a special place in our heart for number 7? Don't tell me you didn't notice this before. Lady Liberty's crown has 7 spikes, right?
Yes.
But have you ever noticed the hand that holds the torch at such a great height? If not, then let me tell you, the torch has 16 leaves from all the sides. But when you add 1 plus 6, what do you get? 7 again, right? And that's not all, my friends. There are 25 windows on her head, which again makes 7 by adding up the digits 2 plus 5. But what's more unbelievable is that even its enormous height adds up to 7. How? Well, Lady Liberty stands tall at a height of 151 feet. And what is 1 plus plus 5 plus 1? It all comes back to number 7. Now you could tell me that this is just a coincidence. Or does the creator really love the number 7? Number 10, half-sister. Behold, guys, two famous wonders of the world, the Statue of Liberty and the Eiffel Tower, are actually half-sisters. I know. It's kind of out of the box for you to believe in this so-called statue blood relation. But trust me, you'll be shocked to know that Gustave Eiffel, the mastermind behind the Eiffel Tower, had a big hand in making Lady Liberty stand throughout the thick and thin of lightning bolts that strike it all the time. How? Because Mr. Eiffel actually helped in designing the steel internal framework that keeps the statue stand stable. And it's only because of this strong framework that Lady Liberty can withstand up to 600 bolts of crackling lightning every year. In fact, would you believe me if I said that the statue and its torch actually sways with the wind when it's high? No? Then have a look for yourself. Because whenever the wind is high, the torch sways about 5 inches, whereas the entire statue sways about 3 inches. So friends, hope this video provided you the knowledge you needed about the Statue of Liberty. So what are you waiting for? Do give us a like and hit the bell icon to subscribe to The Brightest, because only then will we be meeting again in our next interesting video with a new challenge. Toodles!